Hello again. My name is Jeffrey Davis. This is Radio Entrepreneurs, and we're here at the Social Scene offices in Natick, Massachusetts. And I've been using the app, and I hope you take a look at it also. It's changing the way we're all socializing in this world. Take a look at socialscene.me. Again, my co-host, Alex Dablofsky. Welcome, Alex.
Thank you for having me.
Great. I always have
This is an exciting day.
I always like having you beside me. I know it's a little nervous for you, but you're a little less nervous now beside me, right?
I'm getting closer.
Yeah, it's getting easier, doesn't it? And we got Taz to our right. We're both here. We should be surrounding him, making sure he's not breaking something, right?
Yes.
Yes. He's got a reputation. So our next guest is Karen Biscoe of Green Search Partners, and we're going to talk to you about Green Search. You're both the owner and founder.
That's right. It's a pleasure to be here, Jeff. Thanks for having me today.
Thank you. So tell us about Green Search Partners.
Green Search Partner, it's singular, not plural. It is, I'm the principal and founder of the company, started about 10 years ago. And I've been focused primarily on renewable energy. Had a couple of high-tech companies here and there, a few software companies, but for the most part, focused on hiring executives, technical and executive talent for these growing, sort of struggling early-stage companies that are trying to do right by the planet.
So give us a sense of why that category, how you got into it.
That's a great question. I cut my teeth in the recruiting industry in accounting and finance. It's great work. It was very stable, but it was dry. And when I had my second child, decided that commuting into the city was no longer an option. I wanted to try my hand at a different industry and working for myself. Having worked both sides of the desk, meaning that I was able to develop both candidate pipelines and actually do client development, I was able to pull together a business plan for developing a company that would support these early stage struggling renewable energy companies that seem to be popping up in all the incubators in and around New England. And so I think the reason that renewable energy was so near and dear to my heart is I grew up in a family of 5 children, 2 working parents, and there was constant competition for resources. My mother was extremely careful about water and electricity, anything using...
Ahead of her time.
Way ahead of her time. She was even a vegetarian long before it became popular.
We only fought over chicken wings in my house.
We fought over ice cream.
2 chicken wings, 5 people, didn't go far.
No, that would never go far. It didn't go far in my house either. So, you understand what it is to have a competition for resources and understanding how precious they are. And I think growing up in the 70s and understanding that we were dealing with water scarcity, water poverty in other parts of the world, we knew that it was just a matter of time before it reached us here in the U.S. So I took a glimpse into the future and sort of thought, where do I really want to spend my time? Where will it matter the most? Where will I have the most relevance? And so renewable energy was just in its infancy at the time, and it just seemed to make sense to me. It was just opportunity and timing meeting luck.
Did you do a lot of research before getting into this, or did you fall face first and then figure it out after you fell in?
I sort of always fall face first into things. I mean, I did think about the consequences of going into business for yourself during the first part of a failing economy. And then I thought about whether or not I could deal with the risks, manage the ups and downs of being a sole proprietor. And when I figured out what the consequences were and understood that I could live with them, it seemed to make sense to me to pull the trigger at that point.
I assume today you know how to handle no. Did you always know how to handle no, rejection?
It's a really tough part of the job, but I think what I learned to do was, number one, not fly high with the highs and low with the lows of this business, because it is extremely unpredictable. Getting a no is often, if it's a no with a good reason, then it's just not meant to be.
Telemarketers, entrepreneurs, they know how to fight through rejection. Would you agree with that?
They do know how to fight against rejection. But the bottom line is, if you're talking to somebody who's going to have to change their entire life to take a job, whether it's relocation or it means 4 or 5 less hours that they have with their children, there are certain things that you just have to let go of because it just doesn't make sense for that person. Or take, a serious haircut. You're not going to ask someone to go take a job for $20,000 less, only for them to leave 6 weeks later, and then you turn around and have to refill that position. That makes absolutely no sense.
Right. Right.
You got to have integrity in this business.
Well, I don't know if everybody feels that there is a lot of integrity in that category.
I can guarantee you they don't.
Right.
What are some of the challenges you see about staffing people into the different businesses? What is the biggest challenge you have to overcome between each individual?
So I do permanent placement. Staffing is a little bit different. Staffing is a faster pace, and oftentimes those people are working contract or they're dealing with higher volume. What I'm doing is retained search. So we have, an executive position, a CEO position, for example, or a senior vice president of engineering. The challenges are being able to technically vet that person for that position to such a degree where all you have to do is make the handshake happen. And so there are a lot of people who are very good at writing resumes, may even interview well, but that doesn't mean that they can perform on the job. So the issue is whether or not you can make that hire with a level of confidence that you need, especially for those really critical positions. These early stage companies are limited in terms of resources and time. So you need to be careful about who you're putting in front of them.
Yep.
The companies also need to take a look at their hiring practices and how did they go about making that hire? Did they not give themselves enough time?
Right.
Did they look in the right geographic location? Did they benchmark the right salary? That's a big part of it.